how you doing? This is MWPI equals Men with Pure Intentions. We are recording real life problems today with Mr. Ezra in the house, who is a pretty smart lad, as you will see, as you know, we further on with the video. And next to me is a guy with what?
Pure intentions.
Great.
Yes,
we are all men with pure intentions here.
Oh, yeah.
MWPI, yeah?
Yeah, but as usual, you know, so Mr. Ezra, we always have like a check-in when we come here, like how your week has been and whatnot, so that we can get to know what you are about. So, how's been your week, bro?
It was productive, man.
Yeah.
It was okay.
No problems and no that stuff.
I can't complain.
Can't complain.
Can't complain.
Yeah. How was your week? I love the Pure Intentions.
I think it moved so fast, I don't even remember how it was. I think it wasn't productive. Honestly.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember what I did last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So today we are discussing real life problems. I think we'll go directly into it, and we'll just ask Tom to tell us what real life problems are to him. And, yeah.
Oh, okay. I feel like real life problems are problems that we deal with beyond the facet of social media and a perfect life. You get what I mean? Like this is a person crying but they're smiling on Instagram. It's a person hurting but they putting out the facade like they're really happy. I feel like real life problems are problems that we can't run away from, that no filters can hide. You get what I mean? And I feel like that's really what we're doing today. So let me throw it over to you, Mr. Ezra. What problems do you feel like are real that you face that most people don't get to know or perhaps even pay attention to?
The problems are a lot.
Yeah.
The problems are a lot. They range from school, academics, financial, even other problems that I feel like I'm not ready to share. I can't talk about. But I go through the problems. There are a lot of problems. That's why a lot of people that know me, they know me as someone who is jovial. I crack jokes a lot because I'm trying not to focus much on the problems. Not that I'm trying to cover on the problems, but I'm just trying to avoid the problems being like running my life, you know.
Oh yeah, I get that. But quick question: How do you like deal with them in that regard? And also, if you don't mind, I would like you to like maybe like contextualize, like I deal with them like this. Like how do you really deal with this real life problem that you undergo?
The problems. Okay, for example, I can talk about academics. I have repeated before. I'm in fourth year now, but I'm not supposed to be in fourth year. I've repeated before. That was like one of the biggest problems I've dealt with, apart from the loss of my brother. But that was like one of the biggest. That was one of the biggest problems I've dealt with. It was very difficult at the beginning because you know you've grown up to be this smart kid. Everyone knows you that you're smart. Then all of a sudden at home, the news that comes is you're repeating. Even though the people that are there are encouraging you and they are not disappointed in you, but you are so much disappointed in yourself that you think the people that trusted you are disappointed in you. So it wasn't easy at first. But as time went by, I realized that actually this is what helps me. There are things that you can't change, and then there are problems that you can change. For example, financial problems, you can do something about it. But you've repeated a year, you can't go back in time and do things.
So that's acceptance right there.
Acceptance, yes. So you accept the problem, when you accept the problem, it helps you
Yeah.
to deal with that problem you're going through.
Mhm.
Because no matter how much you get worried about it, no matter how much you are depressed about it, the fact is you will not change it. I can't go back in time. I can't go back to 2019 and then do things so
Yeah.
that I can be in the academic year that I'm supposed to be. So I have to accept that and forget about it. And forgetting about it doesn't mean I can't remember it.
Mhm.
But when I remember, I shouldn't get hurt the same way I got hurt when it just happened.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that helps me deal with the problems. Accepting that the problem has happened,
Mhm.
I can't undo it, but I can do something to change the future.
Oh yeah, that's tough, man. You spoke so passionately about it, bro. I'm sure Richard has something to say. I think you wanted to speak, but I cut him off. But I would like to just let you know that
Just pause.
Big award is coming for you. Men with pure intentions, keep it up.
Shout out.
You
to
can
my-
invite your friends, and I think I can see another person, Chin Sewe. Thank you so much
What's up?
for joining this video, man.
cool. We can continue. So you spoke so passionately about that, and yeah, like I'd like you to know that from the few interactions I've had with you, I was going to tell him this lad, like, man, Israel is smart. You get what I mean? Because like you should analyze things very well, man, and you have a great mind, bro. You really have a great mind. I don't think you're missing out on anything, man. So don't let anything like drop you down. You get what I mean? Because you really have it, bro. You really have it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Just wanted you to know, fam. So how about you?
I appreciate it.
Okay.
Pure intentions. Do you-
Right. I think that was really deep. I think for people that don't know, maybe on YouTube, Hezron is at the School of Medicine, CBU School of Medicine as well. And, the School of Medicine, yeah. Tom is a lawyer, so we have two doctors and a lawyer here. Yeah, we don't know who's smarter, but yeah. Anyway, real life problems. I think one of the things I suffer is inconsistency. I think I've had issues throughout my life being consistent with the things I do. Whenever I start out something, say you have an idea or you get into a relationship, yeah. So the consistency to go. There's some people I see who celebrate 5 years anniversaries. That's like a degree, man. I've realized over time that I struggle to remain consistently in relationships. I think 3 years ago, the last time I was in a relationship, I noticed that I was losing interest.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was losing interest, and after some time, after interacting with a few people, I came across something that told me to say,
Yeah.
boys that have father figure issues, that
Yeah.
is maybe a lack of a male figure in their life, tend to struggle to maintain relationships. So I started thinking about therapy, and I have been contemplating therapy for a while now, and I think early this year I had some resolutions, and I sat down. I was like, okay, is it that I am not consistent, or maybe I'm just lazy, that I don't want to put in the effort to do better in the things I do?
Yeah.
Well, it's been a roller coaster kind of journey, and I think I'm back to my roots, like old habits.
How far are you with your resolutions?
Yeah.
Old habits
Oh,
that I
yeah.
had. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I made some progress, and then like I'm back into the cascade of
Yeah.
inconsistency,
Yeah.
be it academics, and I think this inconsistency tends to make me feel inadequate. I think I critically analyze myself so much, and then when I look at my life, I feel I'm not doing enough. Like
Yeah.
I feel like maybe I'm a disappointment to people around me because I can't push the things I want to push enough for a time with consistent energy and effort. And I think that I think it reduces my self-esteem to some point. As Hezron said, we are jovial people out there. And then I saw a picture where a man was smiling, and then in the head there was a child that was crying like that.
That's
So
crazy, man.
we suffer a lot of problems that we can't.
You know, talking about inconsistency,
Yeah.
I think I also suffer from that problem as well.
Yeah.
You know, I've made resolutions before.
Uh-huh.
That, for example, earlier this year,
Yeah.
or I would say late last year, during the VAC, I said I want to read at least 5 business books.
Yeah.
Earlier this year, I started with there's Rich Dad Poor Dad Mindset.
Yeah.
Then I also started The Compound Effect.
Yeah.
These 2 are great books. I was consistent at first, but I think after 2 weeks, I don't know what happened. I just found myself not reading.
Back into the casket.
Back into the old habits. I suffer. I think the only thing that I'm consistent with, that I can say, okay, this I'm consistent with it, is going to church and studying school stuff.
Oh yeah.
Those are the only things I can say. But
yeah.
beyond that, there are things that I would say, okay, I would want to do this and change my financial situations. To change that, I need some knowledge about business.
Yeah.
Then to gain knowledge, I need to start reading books.
Yeah.
I'm not really a fan of someone standing in front and telling me how they started their chicken business with what aid, you know? So I
get you.
Yeah, so I like books. Like The Compound Effect. It doesn't really talk about business. It talks about all aspects of life. With the business aspect in it. It talks about how you can improve your health. A lot of things. But I just found myself not reading the book, despite it talking about how small good habits can lead to good results.
That's
and talking about books, I think my goal was to read must be 30 books this year.
How many have you read so far?
I think I've done 5. Is it 5 or?
I think
So
those five, I'm sure they are school related.
Well, big fan novels like
I'm not talking about Coleman Clark.
No.
It's still time. Well, for me, on the other hand, maybe I don't deal with inconsistency in that in you gentlemen's regard. Inconsistency for me is not something that I think I really deal with. I feel it's consistency to the wrong things. You get what I mean? So I'm consistent, but to the wrong things. And what I mean by this is I procrastinate a lot. You get what I mean? So procrastination for me is like one of the hardest things I have to always deal with, because I always have the great ideas. You know, like I'm gonna go to that bank tomorrow and I'll be there something and I'll speak to them. Then I'll drop those papers. You know, release that book. You get what I mean? But then I always find myself not doing that. And again, I feel like what I'm dealing with right now is the fact that I'm getting older and not being able to do the things I thought I would do. You get what I mean? And not just that, but also, it's also I'm sort of like an oblivion. It's like what if the future does not seem to, work out the way I thought it would? Because I did say I'll have this by 21, but I didn't. You get what I mean? I did say I'll have this by 22, but I didn't. Now I'm about to be this age and I don't have it. You get what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so with that, it's like, maybe what I say I might have at 25 might just be like the years that have passed right now. You get the idea. And that on its own is like, it's really traumatizing, because on a no effect for me, it's like, you just can't afford to fail. Like, you just can't afford to achieve this. And that's coming with so much pressure. You were looking at not just yourself, but it's detrimental to, because your life, like, I heard somebody say your future is attached to futures. You get what I mean? So your future is attached to futures. And so it's like, if my future is attached to A, B, C, and D, and I cut it off, then how do they survive in turn? You get what I mean? Yeah, and I think really the hardest problem is when I was telling you guys off camera, but another one I've realized is I was a little naive when I got into law school. I thought that it was just. There are things I can't say on camera about law, but I thought it was like I'll be just, like I'll fend for the poor. You know, I will be this guy who like sets everybody straight. You get what I mean? But I'm soon starting to realize that hey, sometimes you might have to side with who's guilty, even when they knew they were guilty. You get what I mean? And that on its own is coming with a lot, really. But yeah, man, it's a process of learning, I guess, and I'm sure everything will turn out to be alright. But that's really my problem. Mr. Ezra, have you
say a shout out to Owen Kaluba, and we have also someone joining us. His name is Chin Sewe. So the boy is okay. He's live right here. I don't know if our viewers are able to see him, but he's been so consistent from the time we started recording the video. So we just want to say we appreciate, man. I don't know if you have something to say, but yeah, I've added him to the video.
Oh
yeah. I don't know if you would like to.
Yeah, we can say hi to him. How you doing, bro?
Let me just turn the camera.
Yeah.
I'm just like you, Kabuli.
Yes, bro. You
Can you
can.
hear me?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I'd just like to give a big shout out to you guys. You're doing a great job. This
We
is
appreciate,
amazing.
man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, man.
Yeah, and I'm just hoping that going forward in the future, you can do more of this and incorporate more people, because men need to hear these things, you know?
Yeah,
That's the plan,
yeah.
man.
We hope you can come along yourself.
I'm just like, just one thing, I feel we're living in a world that is lacking knowledge, you know?
Yeah.
And the smallest of things matter, because I feel the more men come together and talk about such prominent conversations, it can take a step to a next level, you know?
Yeah.
So I really appreciate you guys, and I'm following this. Just keep coming, keep going, and let's see where we take this.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yo, thank you, bro. Thank you
man.
so much,
We
man.
appreciate.
Alright, cool. Are we off? Question. Have you ever dated a girl who's maybe faced trauma as a child, and how do you handle it? Have you ever, maybe let's start there. Maybe somebody who was once raped, somebody who had a father who wasn't present, and whatnot. Like, have you ever had an experience with such kind of people?
No, I've never had such an experience. But I just wanted to say something on what you were saying about
my problems.
your problems. Yes.
Okay.
We are so much affected by the past,
Yeah.
such that we fail to live the moment,
Yeah.
which will determine our future.
Yeah. Yeah.
What will be tomorrow or in the future depends on what we are doing today.
Yeah.
Yes, there are so many things that I planned that in my mid-20s,
I must do.
I want to do this, I should have this, and it affects us in such a way that, for example, there are other guys, for example, there are people who finish their degrees at 21,
Yeah.
at 22 they got jobs,
Yeah.
they are working. So you see your friend driving
Mm-hmm.
while you are in third year,
Yeah.
then that affects you so much that you fail to do something on the present,
Yeah.
so that you change your future. Yeah. So we worry so much about the future
Mhm.
that we fail to do something at the
Well,
moment
yeah,
to
that's profound.
to
live
change.
in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. We must enjoy life. Have you ever had an experience with a girl who's traumatized before?
I think a couple.
A couple, yeah. How do you navigate around that kind of thing?
I think I've had an experience with a girl that was raped.
Okay.
I think there was a time I I think a few years ago,
Mhm.
I was talking to two girls that had similar experiences.
Yeah.
And
Both raped.
Both raped.
Okay.
Yeah, and you could see from their trust issues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they lost their trust for men, and the job of convincing them that there are men out there that
are good people.
are good people.
Mhm.
The pure intentions that we brought out.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. I
Yeah.
think for these people, what I realized was you need to be patient.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to be patient with them. These are people that have suffered trauma, and trauma is a scar that never heals.
Mhm.
I think because I was young, and I think it's something that majority of the guys will relate to.
Yeah.
No one is ready to wait for 6 months for a girl. You get. No one is ready to wait for a year for a girl. You get.
Yeah.
We want to move in so fast
Mhm.
that we disregard the trauma that someone went through.
Mhm.
I noticed that it was very difficult to convince them.
Mhm.
You are having a thing. You can even feel the vibe,
Mhm.
even in the conversations and how you relate. You feel like you're almost there. Okay, this girl, I'm obviously scooping, and then boom, it comes.
Yeah.
I can't. I think I don't trust you enough to
Yeah.
to be
Do
with
this.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, what if, I'm like,
Yeah.
come on, I'm not the guy that
Yeah.
did this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want you to be better, and I would like to help you to be better. I want to help you build your trust back.
Yeah.
And, it's very difficult, and you have to be patient,
Yeah.
very patient.
Yeah.
And I see most of these girls who've had abusive boyfriends,
Yeah.
abusive fathers,
Yeah.
absent fathers. You
Yeah.
could see they're looking for love in the wrong places,
Mhm.
and then when they are hurt,
Mhm.
they're there, and then you have to be there to build back that trust. And
Yeah.
trust me, it's very difficult. It's
Yeah.
very difficult. Even how they react when you
Yeah.
touch them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
crazy.
think-
Yeah.
I think as a man, I think that's the part where if you love the girl
Mhm.
enough, you just have to be patient for her to heal from her scars or help her.
Yeah.
Help her heal. But the problem is we're impatient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's true, man. I feel like that's the problem I've been like dealing with the past week. You know what I mean? It's hard to deal with considering. So there's a study. I'm sure you doctors are probably familiar with it. It's called behaviorism, humanistic psychology. So when you study humanistic psychology, you realize that people are a product of what they learned. You get what I mean? So habits that they picked up, and then they become that. And so you realize that personality is created based off your ambience. And so I've been thinking like, okay, so I've seen a few girls who have been raped before, and how they perceive sex. You get what I mean? And so there are two things that happen when a girl's been raped before. Some become risk averse to sex, where they see every man as another person, so they run away from sex. And then some become promiscuous, to the point that they feel like the only way they feel like a woman is by being in many men's bed sheets. Get what I mean? So she's having sex with you not because she wants to have sex with you, but it's a form of her being able to feel like herself. Like sex reminds her that you are this. You get what I mean? And so it's crazy, bro. I've started to see this even in like women who have had fathers who are abusive, and not even abusive like why they beat them, but these are fathers who are toxically dominant towards their daughters. So they don't believe in just communicating the right way. They believe in commanding them to do everything. And so you realize that you are not a man to these women until you show traits of their father. So they'll be like, he doesn't do this to me. You get what I mean? He doesn't do this to me. And I don't know if you gentlemen have seen this, but there are some girls who just can't stand a man who's gentle. You get like
That's true, because when you grow up in I'll give an example. Let's say I grew up in a home where there were fights. I didn't say I grew up in that home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have never seen my friends fighting. But let's say I grew up in a home where the parents were fighting.
Yeah.
So I will grow up perceiving that is how marriage and relationships are. So if I'm in a relationship or in marriage where those things are not happening,
you feel like you're not.
I'll start perceiving that relationship as not being complete.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Now, think of it of a girl who grew up in a home where the father was beating the mother.
Yeah.
So she would, and the mother wasn't even reporting the father to the police. They were not doing anything.
Yeah.
So she would think that is how an ideal relationship or marriage should be. Yeah. So there's really a lot that men should do
to work towards it. But
Yeah.
but I feel like even I like what you said, bro. I feel like this is one of the problems that we need to highlight. You get what I mean? Because there's not just one, but many people that fest our childhood trauma, and I think that the core idea of loving somebody truly is accepting what they come with. You get what I mean? So I have to understand that she comes with all these traumas that I have to, first of all, consider when I live with this person. But I think that our women too needs to be self-aware. You get what I mean? Because that's where to start. Someone cannot identify your trauma on your behalf until you see that there's a problem too. You get what I mean? And you look forward to working on it. But really, man, it's crazy to see a woman who has undergone so much. And again, I'd just like to put this out there, you know, people that have kids at home, especially these girls I've spoken to are girls who were maybe defiled by like a family member. You get what I mean? We need to be more open to the kids at home, you know, how they're treated. Like, let's pay attention to, let's not be too busy by the world that we forget to like look at who's here and what really matters. You get what I mean? So pay attention to the kids at home, who you're living the kids with, how they're behaving and whatnot. And yeah, it's really, really necessary that we consider just how these kids are growing up. But yeah, that's really what I thought was a big problem.
I think one of the issues I've realized is that I think for even adults, we're consumed with the idea that bringing up children is giving them a life that we never had. That is from say basic needs, money, food. So if I'm working 24/7, I'm a doctor. Obviously, I'm gonna be a doctor and I'm gonna be working throughout. If I'm able to bring in money, I'm able to get them whatever they want, then I'm a father. You get. If I'm able to buy them iPhones, then I'm a mother. You get. But I think these are children that suffer, because then you don't get to experience what parenthood is all about. You get to find, you get to learn things that you're supposed to learn in your home outside from the wrong places. I think this manifests in adults and adulthood, and you see it. I think I remember last year, if you can zoom in on this, many therapy. I think it was a time we had a discussion where we were talking about
father figure issues.
I think a lot.
I remember.
Trauma to father figure issues and all the issues men go through, but we can't realize because we are consumed with the idea of not understanding what therapy is. So we thought of men therapy because we realized men are going through a lot. We are nursing wounds that we don't even know about. Traumas that we don't even realize. Like for instance, when I try to look into myself, I try to see, are there any deficits that have manifested in my life from my past? I fail to find the answer, and then I ask myself, do I need therapy? Because I look at certain aspects of my life and I'm like, okay, is this a manifestation of my issues? Like for instance, how do you handle grief when you're a child and you see a parent dying? Like, does grief stay with you forever? Because like for instance, when my father died, I think I was like 6. I was 6. I think I didn't cry too much. I only cried once. I only cried once. I think the first day. I think I cried because
people around were crying.
My aunties and but we're almost the same age. They were crying, and then I started crying. At the funeral, I didn't cry. And then the burial day, I remember, I think one of my uncles wanted to go with me to the burial, and then people refused. No, he's still young, can't go to the burial. And I think over time now, as an adult, when I'm asked about, say, my dad, it's an issue that I just passively talk about it without any issues. But I look back, I'm like, did I handle the grief okay? Could it be that maybe part of that grief is manifesting in my life today, but I can't see it? Yeah, in my product of father figure issues, in how I handle ladies, in how I handle my life, in my suffering from issues of not having a father.
Yeah.
I can't see that because obviously I'm consumed with the idea that I'm okay, and as a man, I'm supposed to be okay. I try to picture my life, say, the way I am today, my behavior, all my behavioral patterns and habits, 10 years from now, because I'm like 24, 10 years from now, I'm like 34. By then, obviously, I'd have to start a family.
Yeah.
With the habits I have now, am I ready to be a father to someone?
Yeah. And just before you jump in, I deliberately put up. I remember when I was coming up with the content for the podcast, I deliberately put up the topic: can a single woman raise a child of the opposite sex correctly? You know what I mean? I put up that deliberately because of you first. I wanted it to be therapy for you. You know, I grew up with both parents in home, but my dad wasn't present. You get what I mean? He's around, but he wasn't present to parent me. You get what I mean? And so I had to grow from my mother. But then I feel like the perilous part about having a child without a father in their life is, firstly, I feel like there is this void that only a father can fill in a man's child. And apart from that, I think that, like you said, it leaves room for one to learn from so many things. And so imagine if your father didn't tell you about sex, and the only way you learn about sex is through pornography. You get what I mean? That's like the first lesson you have about what sex exactly is. The first thing you see about love is your uncle who was maybe very violent. You get what I mean? And this is really what I grew up seeing. You know, it's the violence. Unlike Ezra, it's great to see it, but for me, even my dad was a little too violent too. You get what I mean? My uncle, on the other hand, was very violent as well. And it's of late that I started to see that I could be so aggressive too sometimes. You get what I mean? Like, why am I being so aggressive right now? And it's because I'm my own worst critic, and that's the problem. So I criticize myself so much, even before the outside comes in. You get what I mean? So it's really, really hard to deal with all that stuff, and I feel like that's really what comes in. And I think the other aspect that comes with that for me personally is not just even assuming, but I've seen me doing things that I feel I've seen in my father, and I hate that. You get what I mean? It's like, dang, maybe I just told a lie. You get what I mean? And I've seen this somewhere because it's a familiar trait. Why am I doing this? You get what I mean? And so
it goes back to what I said. You grew up seeing it. So even though you hate it, but in one or the other,
yes, something to say. Yes, so Oh, okay, great. Yeah, so that was really it. And due to time, we can't obviously expound on this thoroughly, but I hope that our viewers understand that problems are normal to deal with, and that it's really okay to not be okay, as many people say, but it's also okay to have real life problems and have them out there, because I believe transparency is the only way to get naked. And I feel that through vulnerability, we can achieve so much. You know what I mean? I don't know what last words you guys have to say, maybe about this.
I'll leave it to Hezron and then I'll close.
Oh, sure, that's all right.
What you guys have said is true. And I wanted to say, we are so much consumed with what the society thinks about us. So there will be this person who's going through a lot of things, but they are afraid of seeing a counselor because they'll be perceived as being soft. You are a man, you are supposed to be strong. Society expects you to be strong, even though you are going through a lot of problems. You can't seek help because you'll be seen as someone who is soft and not being man enough. You know, and we convince ourselves so much that we are okay, even when we are not. So we are supposed to accept the fact that even though we are men, there are times when we are supposed to break down and accept that we are not okay and seek help if need be.
Alright, man.
Yeah, so I think the Men with Pure Intentions podcast, as I said, is a place where we get to unload and open up on issues that we can discuss on a different day or in person. So this is a platform where we get to be heard. So I believe some of the issues we've been discussing here, we're not the only ones that have gone through them. We're the only ones that are going through them. There are people out there that are going through them. Men with Pure Intentions is a platform that shows people that when you're suffering, there are people that are also going through what you're going through. We can handle it together. We can do it together. So Men with Pure Intentions airs every Sunday, and today we're discussing real life issues. I hope some of the issues we've discussed here and how we've been handling them and how we suffer with them has resonated with someone out there. And just get in touch with us. Our social handles are, I think, are flashing on the screens. Hopefully you can follow us and be part of the conversation of Men of Pure Intentions.
Thank you, man. Mr. Ezran, was great having you here, bro. Thank you so much. And again, like I said, I'll iterate, man. You are one of the greatest minds I've come across, and so
I appreciate it.
I'd like you to know, bro. Thank you. Shout out Ian, the director for every video we do, not just one, and Mr. Kapui for being the live man and also being part of the MWBI. Really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much for. It was, I don't know, like I feel like when you're sitting in the background, man, it sounds deeper than when you're seated there. Trust me, like it's really hitting me hard, and I know we don't have enough time, but the conversation was so good. I like the points that you guys brought out, and I think I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much to our viewers. I think we've had Chinsewe. I think I'll inbox you after this, man. I think you are a great mind. Would like to see you here with Men with Pure Intentions, one of the podcasts. So if you're able to hear this, just send me a DM. We've had a few girls who've been consistent. One of them is Donaria Tere. Thank you so much, Donaria. We've had Owen Kaluba, Mpanji, Msungayamba. Thank you so much. Kaumba. Thank you so much. And we also have Sasims Abraham. Thank you so much for following us up. And I think I know this girl, Tamulumbanye Nsangu. I think I know you. So thank you so much for the comments and everything. You can just inbox us if you have any questions or any contributions. Just know that everything is welcome, and if you'd like to be part of us in one of the upcoming podcasts, just inbox me or Richard Chama. We can share the topics with you. So we usually do this every Sunday. Let me just say 17 hours, but you usually communicate on the time, but 17 hours. So you can invite your friends. If you are free, you can join us. Thank you so much.
Shout out Babetting Gurwa and Karuba. No ticket
Never comment that Liverpool is the best team.